प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे
फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र
येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि
Hari Om. Thank you, Panditji, and to everybody at the mandir for the warm and loving welcome. It is a great joy to be here with all of you this evening. As Panditji had mentioned, Chinmay Mission is conducting 108 nights Bhagavad Gita Yajna across Guyana. And we've been all the way from Crabwood Creek to Essequibo, and now we're in the last leg, just a few days again, that we'll be here in West Coast. So now on night number 91, we are in the middle of chapter 17. There are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, so we're close to the end. This is a really wonderful chapter. Actually, all the chapters are wonderful, but this is a wonderful chapter from multiple perspectives. This chapter starts with a question from Arjuna, and he asks Bhagavan Sri Krishna, you know, there are some people who have a lot of Shraddha, and they do puja and rituals and take part in, you know, they do yajna, but they may not know how it is to be done properly. You know, they don't know exactly what the Shastra says based on what their ancestors, their forefathers did, what society does, what they've seen around them. They do rituals, yajna like that, but they have Shraddha. So he asked Bhagavan, is that sattvic, rajasic or tamasic? Would you consider those people to be good, mediocre or bad? Is it a bad thing or is it a good thing? And the normal answer would be, well, if they have Shraddha, then that is good. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna does not give Arjuna the answer like that. Bhagavan Sri Krishna asks a counter question to Arjuna. He says, you're asking if a person has Shraddha and they engage in some form of yajna, is it sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic? Well, my question to you is, what kind of shraddha? Because shraddha is also sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. When we hear the word shraddha, we think it is a divine thing and we think of it with reverence, But shraddha can be of different kinds. For example, Ravana had shraddha that what the scriptures say about performing rituals is correct. Means if you do the ritual like this, you will get the result. He had great shraddha that is how it works. And he was one of the most learned people at the time in our shastras. Right? So he knew shastra very well. And he had shraddha that it works. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? His shraddha was different. He had a different kind of shraddha. The purpose for which he was doing yajna was different. His bhava was different. Who he was worshipping was different. So the answer Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying is not so simple. Who a person is based on their shraddha. But their shraddha could be sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. And so he says, well, we have to look at ourselves, look at our minds, and see what kind of shraddha we have. So he starts to point out to things that we engage in to help us to think about what kind of shraddha we have. Because the shraddha that we have will determine the things that we do. And the things that we do will determine whether we get joy, or we get sorrow, or we get more confusion in our life. As a result, it is so important to understand ourselves. This is how this chapter begins. Because yo yat shraddha sa eva saha. As is our belief, so we act and make decisions in this world. Now Bhagavan had said, actually, based on not just how a person does puja, worship, but what they eat tells about their shraddha, how they do tapas, how they engage in austerity, that tells about their shraddha, how they give dhanam, with what attitude, that tells about their shraddha, and how they engage in yajna, not just havan yajna, but any kind of duty in life, indicates the shraddha that the person has. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is going to go into these different actions that we engage in and the attitudes with which we engage in them, so we can examine our own mind. Right? Where we are now, Bhagavan is just about to start an analysis on our favorite topic, food. Some people may not come to mandir, some people may not do puja, yajna, some people may never give dana in their life, they may never give anybody anything in their life. But everybody eats, not just once, everybody eats 2-3 times a day, sometimes 4, 5, 6, depending on how bored they are. Every time they pass the fridge, they take another bite of something, right? So everyone is always engaged in eating. As a result, we can look at the food that we eat to determine our nature. That is one. The other thing is, because we eat so often, the food we eat also determines our nature. So let us see what Bhagavan has to say about this wonderful topic called food. Now after this, if you don't like what is being said, you take it up with Bhagavan. I am not saying these things. It is Bhagavan who is saying these things, and he is saying it for our benefit, right? So let us chant and see what he has to say. We've now reached verse number 8 in chapter 17. So I will chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, and you all please repeat after me, okay? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Kanaya Lal ki Jai. Ahara Satvika Priyaha. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, these foods that I am going to list now, or these types of foods, or you see, right? These things that I'm going to list now are very dear to Satvik people. Meaning if someone has a Satvik nature, then they will gravitate towards, or they will enjoy these types of food. What are they? Well, Vivardhanaha. Foods that increase or enhance our ayuhu, lifespan. They keep a person living long, right? Now you might say, well, nowadays people are living longer than ever because of science. But it is not just about how long a person lives. It is also about how they live qualitatively, is it not? Have you seen people who are old and sick? It's like they're just waiting till they die sometimes, right? It's not just about age. Ayuhu is the quality of life is also wonderful in this, right? And he says, sattva, their intelligence is there. When you eat sattvic food, this person gets clarity of mind and intelligence and sharpness. Their state of mind, their mental strength is increased. You see people more and more now getting depression and anxiety, and then as they get older, dementia and Alzheimer's and all these kinds of diseases are increasing. Mental strength is reducing in society. Then bala, actual physical strength. You know, nowadays, you see people making all kinds of short videos for reels, right? So I watched one, someone showed me a reel. These 30-year-olds having a conversation. You know, we have achieved in our 30s what people achieve by the time they're 70. What? Back pain, head pain, joint pain. Younger and younger people are feeling less and less strong, right? You can't get up yourself without pushing yourself off the ground because you have no abs. Then you can't sit in the mandir without leaning because your backbone is not strong. Back in the day, they didn't have chairs. They sat on the ground like nothing, the whole day doing physical work. Now, no. I can't sit. If there's no backrest, then they become a question mark. But balam, physical strength is gotten by the food that we eat, right? Arogya. Arogya is health. Health meaning lack of disease. You know, some people are always sick. Some sickness or the other is always there coming to them. You know, in our Shastra, it is very clearly told that all health issues are directly connected to food. Science is also coming to discover that. You know, like if there's 3 people sitting together and one of them is sick, why is it that only one will catch it and the other one will not catch it? It can't be because the germ is less strong for one person. There's something about their immunity that doesn't allow them to get sick. That is connected to the food that we eat and the strength of our immune system. And nowadays science is showing how, our gut health determines the mental illnesses that people are getting. Have you heard? Gut health is directly related to mental health issues also. So the food that we eat, in our Shastra, food is considered as medicine. Right? When a person eats the right food, then they remain healthy. Then sukha, the food gives them joy. Well, you will say, well, all food gives joy to people who eat it. I mean, someone who likes junk food eats it because they get joy from it, right? But the joy that is being talked about here is the joy of purity of mind. Then, priti, cheerfulness. You know, some food you eat and you feel like a snake afterwards. You know how snakes, when they eat, they can't move? So you eat food and you feel like someone has to lift me with a crane and take me to the car. Because you feel so heavy, right? Sattvic food is supposed to not make us feel that heaviness. We're supposed to feel good and cheerful after we eat. So all this food which enhances these things is considered sattvic. No, but Bhagavan, give an example, no? What food is sattvic? Well, this is not a shastra that teaches about food that is sattvic, rajasic and tamasic, but he gives indications. He says food that is rasyaha. Rasyaha is juicy. So now someone might think, well, I know what is juicy. Gulab jamun. It is soaked in delicious sugary juice. That's juicy. Bhagavan is talking about things that are naturally juicy, like fruits, mangoes and oranges. And you know, when you eat it, you feel that your thirst is quenched. Then snigdhaha, food that is oily. Bhagavan, I didn't know cassava ball will be sattvic. Deep fried pulari and cassava ball is sattvic? No, oily like naturally oily. So coconut, you know how coconut has natural oil in it, and then the nuts that we eat have natural oil in it. That or milk is naturally oily. So it nourishes us when we eat it. That is what is being talked about. Food like that, naturally oily. And not when you go and eat like a whole tub of it. You know how people, I don't know if they do it here, but some people carry a whole bottle of peanut butter and they can eat it by the spoon. Or they can eat a whole bowl of peanuts. They'll sit there and shell it and then they'll eat that whole bowl. Not like that. In small quantities, right? Then sthira, that which remains in our body. Remains in our body, that sounds like it makes our body heavy. The essence remains in our body, means all the nutrients are things that our body likes and it takes it out of the food and it keeps it. Right? When food that gives our body nutrition. And also food that satisfies us. Has anyone ever eaten a whole bag of popcorn and said, I am so satisfied? You eat popcorn and you feel like, well, I need to eat something else now because popcorn doesn't fill your belly. Then you'll eat a packet of chips. Then you'll eat some nachos. Then you still feel like, I'm not full. Not satisfied. You try eating mango, right? You eat 1 mango, 2 mango, 3 mango. By the 5th mango, you'll be like, I can't eat more. It nourishes, it satisfies in a different way. Right? So Bhagavan is saying that. Then food that is hridya. That is agreeable. Agreeable to who? Well, agreeable to my tongue is anything that I eat. But he's saying what is agreeable to our body. You know, nowadays people are realizing more and more that they're allergic to different foods. And everybody will be allergic to different things. Like, some people are allergic to orange is considered sattvic. But if I eat orange, I get sick. So that means that for me, it is not agreeable. So now if I eat that, it is not sattvic for me. Right? Foods that are agreeable to our body, that make our body feel healthy and nice. These are sattvic foods. Bhagavan says that when I eat, if I have a sattvic disposition, these are the kinds of foods I'm going to feel like eating. Right? Okay. Everyone knows the kind of food that we're talking about, right? The food that makes you feel good. Right. Now let us see what he says about rajasic food. Number 9. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Katvam malalavanatyoshna Tikshna ruksha vedahinaha
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Ahara rajasasyishta Dukkha shoka amaya prada
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Ahara rajasasya ishta. This type of food that he's going to list now is enjoyed by rajasic people. Right? What is it? Ati katu, very bitter. Some people like bitter food. Have you seen? Then amala, sour. When they bring the pulari, and then they bring that bottle of sour, and then you say, put more na. Sour, sour. Some people like very sour, right? Then lavana. Lavana means very, Bhagavan is saying, people who like very salty food. Have you seen some people, they take that salt shaker, and before they start to eat also, they add salt in the food. They don't know what it has, but they want to add extra salt. Then every bite, then they add one more shake of salt and then they eat it. They like salty, very salty. Then ati ushna, very hot. If that food is not 100 degrees Celsius, if it is 99, well, it is too cold. Please go and put it in the microwave again. Right? People like very hot food sometimes. Bhagavan is saying that is a rajasic. Tikshna. Tikshna is sharp. Like you know, a strong mustard, that kind of thing would be sharp. Or wasabi, if you eat sushi. Then ruksha. Ruksha is very dry, pungent food. Dry food. You know the kind of food that you eat and everybody can hear that you're eating it? It crunches in your mouth. And if you're sitting next to somebody, they're like, oh my God, can you go and eat somewhere else? That kind of food. Dry food. Then vidahinaha. Food that is burning. It burns when it's in your mouth. It burns your belly. It burns all the way through. But there are some people, it is burning and water is coming out of their ears and fire is coming out of their eye. Water is coming out of their eyes and fire is coming out of their ears, and they're still adding pepper. They sit with the pepper sauce bottle. One bite food, one gulp of pepper sauce. Then on top of that, all that sweating and everything, and then they want more of the, you have some seasoning pepper? I'll eat it also while I'm eating the food. Hot. They like that heat in their food, right? So then on top, then after they're then they'll hold a sweet drink to try and balance it out. But some people like this kind of super hot food. Bhagavan is saying it is very rajasic. Then what is the problem with this? They're amaya prada. They cause disease. is it not true that food that is extra salty and extra dry and extra spicy, it causes acidity and heart pressure, blood pressure and all these kinds of other things? So, but all these foods are there in our cooking, but not in excess like he's talking about. We're not supposed to eat them in excess. Anyone who likes it excessively, that person has a rajasic disposition, and it causes disease because our body is not meant to consume so much of it. And as a result of disease, it brings dukkha and shoka. It brings grief and it brings sorrow. So this is rajasic. Now let us see tamasic. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Yata Yamam Gatarasam Uti Paryushitam Chayata, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Uchishtam api chamidhyam bhojanam tamasapriyam, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki Jai. So Bhagavan has spoken about sattvic and rajasic people who like different kinds of food. Now comes tamasic. Tamasic is yata yamam, food that has been cooked for more than 3 hours is considered tamasic. From the time the food is done cooking until you eat it, after 3 hours passes, that thing is considered tamasic. Right? Well, you know, long time ago when people would cook, they would eat right away and make sure that that food finished. And then when it is time to eat again, then they will cook a fresh pot of food. What do we do nowadays? We cook yesterday. That is coming. We'll wait and see. But this first food that has passed more than 3 hours. Then gata rasam. The essence or the vitality or the prana of the food has gone. I found out when we were studying that from the time you pick a fruit or a vegetable, its prana starts to decrease. And the longer it stays off the tree until you eat it, that less prana and that less benefit that that thing has in your life. So, I think we should feel sorry for everybody who lives in North America, because apples could stay for 2 years before they get to buy it. I'm not joking, really. Long time goes before they get that food. Or they have to pick the food, the bananas unripe over here, and then they have to export it, and then they have to put chemicals to ripen it. That thing has no smell, and it has no taste. Have you gone there and eaten that food? Or you know, if your relatives come here, and then they eat the pawpaw, or they eat the pineapple, do you see the expression on their face? Like they're eating real food for the first time in a long time. Because the rasa is there in fresh food, not in fake ripening, not in frozen, not in refrigerated food. It is there in fresh food. That rasa is gone. When it goes, that food becomes tamasic. Right? Or, you know how some people, when they cook the food so much that you can't tell what the food is anymore? Have you seen people cook it and then you don't know what you're eating? Because you cook it so much that you cook the nutrition out of it also. One child asked his father, "Dad, how do you make holy water?" You know how you make holy water? "Dad, you boil the hell out of it." You cook the food so much that it loses its essence. That is considered tamasic. Or when that food goes in the freezer. Well, the moment it goes in the fridge or the freezer, its rasa is considered gone. Then puti. Puti is foul-smelling food. So, well, you know when you go to the market, there are some areas you don't want to go because of how it smells. That is the smell that is being talked about. Foods that have that kind of smell are considered tamasic. And this will include things like onion and garlic also. You know when you eat it, sometimes if you're going to go and be in a certain meeting, you'll be like, no, I can't eat onion and garlic because my breath will smell. I can't brush my teeth before I go. That puti, there's a strong smell that comes from certain food that is considered tamasic. Then paryushitam. Paryushitam food is this. Have you ever said, that parsad tastes better the next day? Is that something that everyone has heard over here? You come to mandir and you get parsad. And then you can't finish it because, back in the day they would give a little bit and everyone would just eat it. Now you get a bag so big that it can barely fit in your hand. So you eat a little bit and then you put it in the fridge. And then the next day you open the fridge and you take it out and you eat it and you're like, oh, this tastes better today, right? There's so much food people say it tastes better the next day. Well, you know what that is? That is the taste of tamas. When food, the meaning of this word is stale. Any food that is kept overnight. I think I heard someone using the phrase brought forward. Food that is brought forward from yesterday is considered tamasic, right? You know, when I was in university, I had friends, I studied in Canada, and I had friends from other parts of Canada who were in university. So their parents were maybe 3-4 hour drive away from where they were. So they would go home to visit their parents, and they would come back with like bags of food cooked by their mom. Bags of paneer and cooked paneer and bags of, bhaji and bags of all kinds of foods pre-cooked. And they come and they put it in their freezer, and then when they miss home, they take out one and they put it in the microwave and then they eat it. Well, that is this. This is paryushitam, food that is kept overnight. Now you might be wondering, well, that is like 99% of the food we eat. By the time you see this list, we're only eating tamasic food, right? Bhagavan hasn't finished. He says, Uchchitam. Uchchitam means food that is juta. I don't know, juta is a word that is used here. There is no English translation for the word juta. That concept doesn't exist. Juta means someone has eaten the food and then you go and eat that food which has been eaten by them. Juta food is considered tamasic food. If you are eating something with your hand, we're eating 7 curry with our hand. And then with that hand now, you kind of just shake it off and you go and you try and hold a spoon to take more food with that same hand. Well, all the food in the pot that you use that spoon with is considered juta also. There's such strict rules around this cleanliness of food in our tradition, right? Then amedhyam. Amedhyam is food that is not fit to offer to Bhagavan. Food that is not fit to offer Bhagavan is considered tamasic. So now you think, Bhagavan, you're in my belly, I'm about to eat this food. Oh, should I be giving it to you? you have to, that is one of the tests also for this food, right? Bhojanam tamasa priyam. This kind of food, people who who have a tamasic disposition, they will gravitate to this kind of food. Now, you see how to eliminate it. Imagine if you don't use your fridge or freezer, and once that pot is turned off from cooking, you don't turn it on again, right? Whatever food will be eliminated as a result of that is called tamasic food. So tamasic food makes up a huge percentage of the food that we eat nowadays, unfortunately. Right? But it's not only the actual food, there are some other factors that go into it. Like, I'll tell you a few things. First of all, non-vegetarian food by this definition will automatically be tamasic. But it is not that vegetarian food is automatically sattvic. You can see that, right? If food is kept for a long time, it is not sattvic anymore. Or food that takes extremely long to cook. The longer it takes to cook, the more tamasic it is considered. Like chana takes so long to cook sometimes, right? That will be considered more tamasic than a dal that takes less time to cook. So those are things you can see, right? The other thing is, food doesn't just make up our physical body. The food that we eat has a subtle part, and that makes up our mind. Now, if you're going to build a bridge, is it not that you would want to choose the best materials to build that bridge? Otherwise, like I think I heard just recently in Strasbourg, a bridge broke down. That was just rebuilt in August. So what kind of materials would have had to have been used for it to break down so quickly? Now, if you're using poor materials, then that is the result you'll expect, right? So the food that we eat is going to build our mind. So what do we want to put into our body to build our mind? We want to put the best things in, isn't it? I know some grandparents, I guess they would be great-grandparents also now, who refused to eat out of their own house. You see? In fact, they had the attitude that if somebody cannot cook food for themselves and has to go to a restaurant, they're considered poor because they're not eating food that is sattvic. Right? Now, food is, I'll tell you one or two last things on this thing, right? One is, the food that we eat gets its qualities not only from the physical, but also from who cooked or prepared the food. The mood with which the food is cooked, the mood with which, the money with which the food is bought, and the attitude with which the food is eaten, all of that determines the quality of the food. Tell you a famous story. There was one Mahatma that had gone to a home for Bhiksha. People serve Mahatmas food at their homes. So he had gone there and he was sitting to eat. And the lady of the house had taken out silverware, silver cup and silver plate and silver spoon, because she wanted to serve him with silver. And so he started to eat food, nicely prepared food, and she went to the kitchen to get something to bring back. And after she left, suddenly this Mahatma had the thought in his mind, this cup looks so nice. And he took the cup and he put it in his bag. He carried the silver cup home with him. Now she didn't notice, so many things on the table at that time you wouldn't see, right? But the next day, he came back and he was like, I don't know what came over me. I took your silver cup, please take it back. Because, Mahatmas have that kind of integrity, right? He's not going to pretend nothing. So he brought it back. And he was like, but I still can't figure out what came over me to make me want to take this cup. She said, she laughed and she said, actually, my husband is a thief. So the money that he used to buy this food is all stolen food. The quality of that food, because of the sensitivity of the Mahatma's mind, it impacted him immediately. And it made him take that cup. The way the food is bought, the money the food is bought with, the way it is prepared, all of it affects our mind, right? You experiment. When you go to a restaurant to eat, you think that the cook over there is thinking, let me make this food so it nourishes the person who's going to eat it? What is that person thinking? They're thinking about their money. The only thing that they're thinking about is their money and when they're going to get to go home. Correct or wrong? When you employ somebody for $10 an hour and you make them sit and cook all day like that, well, they're not thinking about who they're feeding, right? So you experiment and see. I have tried this. I have noticed this. If you eat food from a restaurant at night before you sleep, right? Your dreams, I guarantee, your dreams will be more aggressive and more irritated, and you'll dream things you don't normally dream. You try it and see for yourself whether it actually works like that, right? Now you feed food like that to your family. What will be the state and environment in the house? Will everybody not be more agitated and irritated and fighting with each other? And if that is the quality of the food, then that will be the quality of the environment around us. You know, another really interesting story I heard. There was when the cow sees the calf and then she gives milk, she gives that milk with great joy and great love and great abundance. And science has done all kinds of tests, and they test the quality of that milk is really special. Cow's milk is considered one of the most sattvic things. We offer it to Bhagavan also. Well, they did an experiment where they took the calf away from the cow and they brought a dog, and the dog is barking at the cow and the cow gets angry, right? The cow gets, all animals get emotions too. So now this cow gets angry, and at this time they take the dog away and they bring the calf back, and the milk that the cow produces, they take that milk and they give it to the soldiers because they want the soldiers to fight. That feeling of the cow goes into the milk and it causes something to happen to the minds of the soldiers who are drinking the milk. When you hear these things, it gets scary. Like, what should I be eating? Who should I be eating from? Where should I be eating? But the attitude with which we eat also makes a difference. So when we sit to eat, we imagine, Bhagavan, I am offering this food to you. I want this food to nourish me such that I can go now and make my contribution to the world, or I can do your seva, like that. And with that attitude, the food becomes sattvic for our mind also, right? Now, anyways, these are some things to think about regarding food. But food is a very, very, very big topic because everything we eat makes up our mind, and our mind makes up our life. All right, let us now see. Now Bhagavan switches. So he's talked about sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic disposition with respect to food. Now he talks about sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic disposition, attitude with respect to when we do yajna, when we make offerings of any kind. So that is chant number 11. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Aphalakankshibhiryajnah Vididrashtaya
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yashtavyam me veti manaha samadhaya sa satvikaha.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Ya yajna ijyate, that yajna which is performed, yashtavyam, with the feeling that this yajna ought to be done. It is my duty to do it, therefore I am doing it. That is considered sattvic. So yajna means, it could mean the puja that we do daily or weekly. It could mean the havan that we do. But yajna could also mean any action that we do that is our duty. Right? So people who have this attitude, he says, they are aphala kangshibihi. They are people who are not desirous of the results of the action. Meaning when they're doing the action, they're not thinking about what they're going to get as a result of doing it. They're only doing it because they understand that it is my duty to do it. Right? The thought in their mind is, I am doing this because it is my duty. Like if you see a child fallen down on the road in the village, you stop, even though you're in a hurry, and you pick up that child and you say, where do you live? And you take that child to their home and you drop them. Now at that time, if the parent says, wait, and they go and they come and bring $5,000 to give you, thank you, you will look at that person and be like, what? No, it was my duty. I saw a child fall in, I picked them up and I brought them home. You don't even need to say thank you for the duty that was done over there, correct or wrong. You don't expect something in return for a duty that you did. Well, this is the attitude of people who have sattva, who are sattvic. When they do an action, they are not doing it expecting anything in return. Or for example, when someone gets the janeo, right? They've done their yajnopavita. One of the requirements is that you do Gayatri Mantra Japa every single day. 108 Gayatri Mantra is supposed to be done every single day. So now a person with this disposition will think, well, it ought to be done. That's all. I don't need to think about anything else, what I will get from it. The fact that I have done this janeo means now I have to do it, full stop, right? So they take it like that and they do their duty, understanding that it is my way of expressing my gratitude to Bhagavan. Then vidhi drishtaha. They do it in accordance with the scriptures. Whatever Shastra has said it should be done like this, they do it like that properly. Like Gayatri Mantra is not supposed to be chanted after sunset, right? So they don't chant it after sunset. They don't say, oh, I was tired in the morning, so I didn't do it, so I'll just do it before I sleep. No. They follow the injunctions that are given and they do it properly. And manaha samadhaya. They do it without an agitated mind, because if you're not looking for results, then your mind is not agitated. So they do it with a pure, peaceful mind, like that, right? Okay, that is Sattvic Yajna. Now let us see what is Rajasic and Tamasic Yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Abhisandhayatu phalam dambhartam api chevayat.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Ichyate bharata shrestha tam yajnam vidhi rajasam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Now he talks about Ijyate Tam Yajnam, the yajna which is done, Vidhi Rajasam. Know this kind of yajna to be rajasic, which is Abhisandhaya tu phalam. That yajna, that offering, which is done with an eye on the result. So the person is doing the action and they're doing it properly as per what Shastra says, but they're thinking about what they're going to get. For example, you know Gayatri Mantra, let us take that because we were doing it, right? In Devi Bhagavatam, the Phalastuti is given for this Gayatri Mantra. What happens as a result of chanting Gayatri Mantra? So it says, if you chant Gayatri Mantra 10 times, well, it removes your papa for the day. You know all the papa that we do during the day? Well, it neutralizes that. If you chant Gayatri Mantra 100 times, it neutralizes your papa for 1 month. If you chant it 1,000 times, it neutralizes your papa for 1 year. If you chant Gayatri Mantra 10,000 times, well, a whole one past lifetime's papa gets neutralized. 100,000 times, this lifetime papa. And 1,000,000 times, well, all your papa. And that's done so far. And if you chant it 1 crore times, that is mukti. Now this person is thinking, what? How many, if I do 1 mala, that is 100. That means that all my papa for this month is gone. Right? They start to count and calculate what is going to happen if I chant it. Now let me tell you, this means chanting it with full attention and effort and intention and everything. So they're counting it and they're nullifying the effect of chanting it, right? Or they're thinking, Gayatri Mantra is a mantra for the intellect. So after every 1 week, they think, is my intellect brighter? Am I getting smarter? Gayatri Mantra is not supposed to be chanted like that. It is supposed to be chanted, it is my duty, so I'm doing it. The result has to come. But when I'm doing it, I'm not doing it wanting to get something. I'm doing it as my duty. That is sattvic. If I'm thinking about what I'm going to get, then that is considered rajasic. Or dambhartam, to show off. People do puja and all nowadays to show off. Oh, did you see how that person did puja? What? I've never seen puja conducted like that before. They want people to say that about their puja, so they do it in that way, thinking, how will people see what I'm doing? Or, that's what Bhagavan says. This is what qualifies puja to be, the offering to be rajasic. Then now tamasic, let us see. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, sharanam mama.
Shraddha virahitam yajnam tamasam parichakshate.
Shri Krishna sharanam mama. Shri Krishna sharanam mama.
Shri Krishna sharanam mama. Shri Krishna sharanam mama.
Shri Krishna sharanam mama. Shri Krishna sharanam mama.
Shri Krishna sharanam mama.
Shri Krishna sharanam mama.
Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Okay, now yajnam tamasam parichakshate. Now he's talking about tamasic yajna or tamasic offering. 1. Vidhihinam means not following the injunctions of the scriptures. If you are doing something that the scriptures have prescribed, then you're supposed to do it as is prescribed, right? Not, a very interesting thing. I mean, I know this doesn't happen in Guyana, but in India, this has started to happen in Bharat. People do their Janeyo Samskara, and in the Janeyo Samskara, you're supposed to wear the Janeyo thread on your body, right? And you're supposed to shave your head. Well, people have started to do Janeyo Samskara and say, well, I haven't gotten my six-pack yet, so I don't want to take off my shirt. So they wear their kurta and they put that Janeyo thread on top of it. I don't feel like shaving my head. I don't want to carry a bald look, so I wouldn't shave my head. So they pick and choose which parts of the ceremony they want to do, which parts of the rituals they want to do, which ones they don't want to do. It's considered as a tamasic yajna because they're not following the vidhi. Or, some people in other parts of the world, they have such busy lives that they make Bhagavan's schedule work around theirs. So if it is Bhagavan's birthday on a Wednesday, but they're busy on Wednesday, they say, Bhagavan, you wait. We will celebrate your birthday on the weekend when I have time. Let's celebrate Hanuman Jayanti on Saturday, because on Wednesday we are too busy working. Vidhihinam, like that. Asrishtam. Asrishta annam. Asrishta annam means if the vidhi is that you're supposed to offer food to the person who's doing the puja or to so many brahmanas or something, they say, man, these brahmanas are always getting food. Let me go and give the food to children in need. So they decide that that is a better thing than offering it to as the scriptures are saying. You can give to those children too, but you shouldn't not do what the scripture is saying. Then mantrahinam, no proper mantras. That means no proper pronunciation or no proper swara. Some Vedic mantras have intonation. They go up and down. Gayatri mantra and Om Trambakam and all, they have intonation. But people sing it. That is called mantrahinam, not doing it properly, right? Then, or they do different mantras, whichever mantra they feel like, they do wherever. Like see, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna is my refuge. But some people say Shri Krishna Sharanam Nama. Nama is not what the mantra is saying. It's supposed to say Mama. But they'll say Nama because they feel like that they heard that and that's what they're saying. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying that is mantrahinam. That is not the proper mantra. We're supposed to learn it properly and say it properly. And then adakshinam. They don't offer the correct dakshina when they do yajna. So the Panditji will come. In puja when you're missing some samagri, you're allowed to offer akshata, the rice instead, right? Instead of getting up to go, if your flour's finished, you don't stop puja to go and get flowers. You use the akshata, the rice instead. Well, these people, instead of giving dakshina, they give akshata. Or they'll give one coin to to the Panditji or whoever is doing that puja. No, dakshina is supposed to be given properly, right? Then that same person will go to a Starbucks and not ask, but why are you selling this thing so expensive? But they won't give properly when they do rituals. Bhagavan is saying that is tamasic. And it's done shraddha vihitam, without shraddha. Meaning like, nowadays some parents force their children to sit for puja because children don't want to do it. Or someone is vexed with Bhagavan. Then they sit and they do it by force. That is called shraddha vihitam, virahitam. They don't do it with the right bhava, right? All of that is considered as tamasic yajna. Now this applies to our daily life also, Like when somebody is going to work or they're raising children at home, the sattvic attitude is, I'm doing it because it is my duty. Not thinking, if these children grow up nicely, then everyone will say what a good parent I am, and then they will go to a school that is wonderful, and then when they grow up, because I've taken care of them well, they will take care of me when I'm older. No. Sattvic attitude is, I do it because it is my duty and I offer it to Bhagavan, and whatever happens, happens. Right? Then the other is Rajasic. Rajasic, how people do Rajasic work is to show that they are doing work. One person went to an office to meet the boss. And he asked the secretary, I have come to meet your boss. And so the secretary gave the standard answer, he's not in. So this person said, well, when will the boss be back? She said, no, maybe like later today or tomorrow. So you please go and you come back tomorrow. He said, no, that's okay, I will wait. And so he sat right there in the secretary's office. So now the secretary is thinking what to do, because actually the boss is inside. and this person is sitting here. So she picks up the phone and she calls the boss, and then she puts down the phone, and then she tells this person, I just spoke to my boss and he's not going to be back today. You please come tomorrow. He said, no, I'm just in case he comes back, I'll wait. Well, this man waited all day. Now the boss calls the secretary to come in the office. And he says, what is this man doing? Have you not told him I'm not here? She said, yes, I told him you're not here. I don't know why he's not going. And now the boss cannot leave because he has to leave through that office. And this man is here. So finally he says, okay, send the man in. Right? So now the man goes in and the boss says, I want to ask you a question. Why did you wait here all day? He said, because I knew you were in the office. Well, how did you know? No, you see, when I came in, I saw everybody doing their work properly. Nobody was gaffing. That means you were here. Because when the boss is not here, people go and gaff in the hallway and do whatever they want and work half the time and eat extra lunch. And if everybody is working properly, it means you're here. Rajasic yajna. When we do our work in the presence of someone, knowing that they're looking at us. Right? Then tamasic. Tamasic is when you go there and you don't do your fair share of work. Right? Or if you're taking work from somebody and you don't give them the fair share of money that they deserve for the work that they're doing. All this will be considered tamasic yajna. So this is yajna. Now Bhagavan starts to talk about tapas. Tapas is a very interesting word. The word pat in Sanskrit means to fall. And tap is the opposite of pat. So our Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda, explains that tapas is any action that we do that helps to lift us from our fallen state, from our sorrowful state, to bring us to a state of joy. Right? It's any action that we do that brings a shine to our personality. So the trend has been so far that Bhagavan tells sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, like sattvic, rajasic, tamasic worship, sattvic, tamasic, rajasic food. So you would expect him to tell now sattvic, rajasic, tamasic tapas. But before he tells sattvic, rajasic, tamasic tapas, he tells actually there are 3 types of tapas. There's physical tapas of the body, there is vak tapas, speech, and there's tapas of the mind. So there's 3 types of tapas. So first he explains what those types of tapas are, and then he tells what is sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic tapas. And tapas is not, he told earlier in this chapter, it's not going and sitting there and doing terrible things to emaciate your body. That is not called physical tapas. So let us see what he has to say. What is physical tapas? Let's chant number 14. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Deva Dvija Guru Pragya, Pujanam Shauchamarjavam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Brahmacharya Mahimsa cha, Shariram Tapa Uchyate.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Pujanam. Shariram tapa uchyate. Now he's describing what is physical austerity. He says it is pujanam, worship of Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna. 4 types of people. 1, Deva. Devas means, our Devatas, Bhagavan. So any kind of puja that we do for Bhagavan is considered as physical tapas. Because you have to go and wash the samag, we have to clean and wash and prepare all the materials properly. Then you have to sit there, you have to do the puja. Then after that you have to clean up everything. It requires effort, right? Or, we have presiding deities over all the elements in the world. We have these phenomenal forces that have presiding deities. So Deva puja would also be respecting the elements of nature. That would be another translation of it, right? So taking care of the environment is a form of Deva puja. Dvija, puja for Dvija. Dvija is Brahmana or anyone who is cultured, refined, wise. I'm supposed to offer puja to them. Not like I take an arti thali and I do arti. Puja in the sense of I offer my seva to that person. I want to be there to serve a person of great values. Guru. Guru meaning my spiritual teacher who teaches me about Atmanyana. The teacher who gives me knowledge, spiritual knowledge. That is my Guru. And that Guru I'm supposed to do seva for. Prajna. Prajna is not necessarily my Guru, but any learned person would be considered prajna. So I'm supposed to give respect and do seva for all kinds of learned people in society also. This is considered pujanam. This is considered worship of, this is considered tapas of the body. Then shaucham, cleanliness is another form of physical tapas. Cleanliness of, this has come up so many times recently. Cleanliness of our clothes, cleanliness of our body, cleanliness of our environment. Arjavam. Arjavam is translated as straightforwardness, but here it means not necessarily, not doing unnecessary movements with our body. When we were in school, we had wooden chairs and wooden tables. And the tables would be stacked behind each other and the chair has just enough space for somebody to sit. But some people would sit and they would start to rock their chair. Have you seen people rocking their chair? And then the back of the wood would erode slowly, and then the chairs would eventually get unstable. And when you're rocking and you're not paying attention, eventually you could lose balance. And so people, unnecessary movement, or taking your phone, clicking it on, clicking it off, clicking it on, clicking it off, clicking it on, clicking it off. Why? Just no reason. My hands have to be doing something. My body has to be doing something. Sit still. That is physical tapas. That is tapas for the body. Right? Then brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam means celibacy, but it also means control of our senses and our mind. So not overindulging in any sense pleasures. There's a saying in Sanskrit that if a student wants knowledge, they have to give up pleasure. And if they want pleasure, they have to give up knowledge. You can't get both. Tapas is required to get any great thing in this world. And then ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence. Means my body, it is easier to squish an ant than to pick it up and to take it outside. But ahimsa, it's physical tapas to say, I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to do the extra effort of taking it outside. Right? This is all called tapas of the body. And if we follow these things with the right attitude, it purifies our mind. What that attitude is, Bhagavan will tell tomorrow, but this is physical tapas. Tomorrow we'll see what is vak tapas, tapas of speech. Some people don't know how to speak. I don't mean sound doesn't come out of their mouth. I mean some people don't know how to speak nicely, right? So Bhagavan is going to talk about what we have to think about before we speak anything and how we're supposed to use our mind. So all of that will happen in tomorrow's satsang. Tomorrow we will be in Akshardham Mandir at Parfait Harmony. Satsang will be starting at 7:30. And you're all welcome to join, either in person or virtually. But chapter 17 will continue there. A very special thank you to Panditji and to all the members of the Mandir for hosting this 91st night of Bhagavad Gita Yajna. I came here when Swamiji came, and it's really special to be coming back again. So thank you very much. Just a few announcements, and then we'll do Aarti, and I'll pass it back. So, we have a set of books outside, if anyone is interested. Chinmay Mission has tons of publications. There are spiritual books for all different kinds of interests. Like this one is called Ganesha Goes to a Party. He goes to Kubera's house, and Kubera has arrogance about how he's throwing such a wonderful party. Rajasic Yajna he's doing. And Ganeshi shows him. He eats all the food, and he eats the pots and the pans, and he's about to eat Kubera too. You should go and see what happens in that book after that. Gita for Yuva. So for youth, how Gita is translated. There are 70 famous verses that are translated in the language of youth. Then joyful parenting solutions. Nowadays, everybody is wondering how to bring up their children and all. Some really insightful spiritual solutions for parenting. This book is called Vision of Bhagavad Gita. It is one of the most wonderful books that you can ever read. The entire Gita's vision given in such succinct, simple presentation. And then symbolism in Hinduism. Why Ganeshji has a trunk, and why our devatas look the way they do, and all of these things. If you're interested in that, different books for different interests, please check out all the titles. Whatever you're interested in, you can purchase. Okay. This Bhagavad Gita Yajna will be concluding on May 3rd at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground in Georgetown at 5 p.m. And you're all invited to join us for the grand finale. There will be satsang with Swamiji. There will be a concluding celebration. There will be dinner for everybody. And We will start and we will end on time. So by 6:30, you'll go and you'll get your dinner and then you can come back home. So it would be lovely to have you guys join us. Please do. It'll be nice to see you all as we celebrate this grand conclusion together. Chinmay Mission is offering multiple courses and classes. Sanskrit, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, chanting, all kinds of things. Classes for little children, classes for youth. If you're interested, just check our social media and you can join anything that you like. And finally, I should tell, in July, we will be having a 3-week Bhagavad Gita camp for children at the ashram. So the values that we study in Bhagavad Gita in satsang for adults, we take those same values and we teach it to children with activities and games and stories and fun. And so they learn with fun. So we'll be having this camp from July 15th or 14th until July 31st. If there's interest of children from the West Coast coming, we can see, as long as there's enough interest, we could probably organize a bus to bring a set of children every day to the ashram in Monripo and then bring them back also. 3 weeks immersive Bhagavad Gita camp at the ashram. If you know anyone on that side also, please do let them know so they can join and enjoy it. Okay, last announcement. Chinmay Mission is a teaching organization. And one of the things that Chinmay Mission teaches is a Vedanta course. It is a 2-year course meant for young adults who are interested in studying Sanatana Dharma systematically, clearly, as per the Guru Parampara system in a Gurukul style. So you go to the ashram and you stay there for 2 years, and every single day, there's no holidays, no weekends. You wake up in the morning, your first class starts at 5:30 and last class ends after 8 p.m. Every single day you study Sanskrit, Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Ramayana, Vedic chanting, morning to night. And at the end of the 2 years, your whole vision of life is transformed. This is for people who are really interested in studying Sanatana Dharma deeply and properly. If you know anyone like this, please do let them know that this will be happening. It is starting in October 2nd, right here in Trinidad with Swami Prakashananda. So they can apply and they can go. They have to be 30 years and under, have a university degree, and be unmarried. So they can put the application in. And after that, if they would like to serve in Chinmay Mission, they could be irrespective. You can go and teach Shastra with the understanding that you've gotten to anybody. Right? Okay, we'll do Arti now, and then I will hand back after Arti. We'll do Bhagavad Gita Arti. जय भगवद् गीते मैया जय भगवद् गीते हरिः कमल विहारिणि हरिः विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद् गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनि
मय्या कामासक्तिहरा तत्त्वज्ञानविकाशिनी
विद्या ब्रह्मपरा
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
निश्चल भक्तिवेदायिनि निर्मलमलहारी
मय्या निर्मलमलहारी शरणरहस्य प्रदायिनी
सर्वविधि सुखकारी
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
रागद्वेष विदारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा
मय्या कारिणि मोद सदा
भवभयहारिणि तारिणि
भवभयहारिणि भगवद्गीते
आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी तमरजनी
मय्या नाशिनी तमरजनी
देवी सद्गुणदायिनी
दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी
हरिरसिका सजनी
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की वाणी
मय्या हरिमुख की वाणी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामी
श्रुतियों की रानी
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय
मय्या मातु कृपा की जय
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर
अपनो कर लीजय
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरि कमल विहारिणी
हरिः कमल विहारिणि
सुंदर सुपुनीते
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
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 मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वजः मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्षं मङ्गलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हरि ओम तत्सत।